Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I'm back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Piglet's Big Game for the Nintendo GameCube / PlayStation 2. So, last time we've completed everything in terms of Pooh's Dream by collecting 150 cookies. In addition to that though, we somehow delivered the honey part to Winnie the Pooh himself. So as a result though, by far is the easiest dream in the game. So, because you know, nothing too complicated or anything else like that. So today, for this video is the fact that we're about to be hit on to the next dream, which appears to be Rouge's Dream. So as you can tell, the cookie amount is actually going to get increased up to 225. So I wonder if I'm also able to be trying to get those cookies as much as possible, but I'll see what happens. So anyways, let's begin.
Just a little higher. My ball. I can't seem to reach it.
So I wonder what Rouge's Dream is going to be all about. Well, I can assure you he wants that ball back, so I wonder what theme is it going to be this time.
If only Piglet were here. Surely he could help me get my ball down.
Thought Roo, falling asleep, and that's exactly what he dreamt about.
Why, hello, Piglet, dear.
Hello, Mrs. Kanga.
You haven't seen my little Roo, have you? I don't know where he's gotten off to.
No, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen him.
Oh, would you do me a favor and find him for me? He has to clean up his room, you know.
I'll do my best, Mrs. Kanga.
Okay, so it turns out that this particular dream is based off of around the cardboard setup as well as the crafted objects, which, kind of thinking about it, this particular dream does remind me of almost related to Yoshi's Crafted World a little bit, except the fact that this is not on a Nintendo Switch, sadly. So, but either way, it seems that we can't get any cookies for the time being, so I think we should probably go outside and hopefully we'll try to find Rouge someplace elsewhere. But I think something tells me there are some enemies coming, so... And sure enough, there are not one, but two heffalumps that we need to take care of. And by the way, those heffalumps do have their names, by the way, which I can assure you, these heffalumps are known as basic heffalumps, which, I'm not kidding, that's what their names are. So, but either way, obviously we'll take them down, because obviously that the entire progressioning has been locked, because obviously we need to take care of these heffalumps before we do anything. So, I know there's technically an item around here somewhere, but I think I should probably be back for it eventually, because from now on we're about to take care of these guys. So, in fact, relatively speaking, that one thing I totally forgot to mention about during the Informs event on Wednesday, I think this particular game, graphic-wise, at least on the Nintendo GameCube as well as on the PlayStation 2, it does hold up very well, especially concerned about the fact that despite there are some frame rate drops here and there on the PlayStation 2 version, as I said this before, but relatively speaking though, I'm sure I'll get a while to get used to with this particular stuff though. But either way, so yeah, today's date of course is the 3rd of March today, in this case in 2023 today. Naturally speaking though, that one thing I supposedly I forgot to mention about during the course of the Donkey Kong 64 Let's Play, that basically the Nintendo 3DS has officially become 12 years old, specifically in Japan's case, since in the 26th of February, so... And now we got ourselves a bit of a glue, which I don't think we can probably use that for right now, until later on, just because something tells me about the fact that we'll save that until whenever we get to, like, I don't know, almost to the point about the fact that this is where the dreams gets a bit slightly lengthy. Well, as far as I'm aware, unlike in Pooh's Dream, that basically we did this in one singular run, whilst in Rouge's Dream and onwards though, well, apart from one in particular exception to this though, which I'm sure we'll point things out in due time, that I'm actually going to be divided into a few parts here and there for certain dreams, because as far as I'm aware, once we get to the halfway point of the game, that the dreams might go a bit more lengthy, as far as I'm aware. So either way, I'm pretty sure that we actually got quite enough cookies as it is until we, God knows, trying to able to find the more curtains around here. Well, at least not anytime soon, so... Yeah, because out of all the actual, like, Winnie the Pooh games, despite it's made for kids, honestly, Piglet's Big Game is by far my favorite game of the bunch, just because of all that, not only for its simple gameplay, but it's also about the fact that the visuals do look very, very good, even on the Nintendo GameCube as well as on the PlayStation 2. Not to mention, though, the environments that you do able to explore, depending on what dreams you go to, are very impressive, all things considered. Especially noticeable, it does have some bit of variety where it comes to, like, theming and stuff. Like, we already know for the fact that Pooh's Dream is actually based off from, like, sweets and candy and stuff like that. So, either way, though, because, again, it does remind me of Sweet Dream from Mario Party 5, at least as far as I'm concerned. So, either way, though, let's grab some more cookies here and there. So, relatively speaking, though, I was originally trying to able to actually go for this entire dream within one singular run-through, but because, as I said before, this is where the dreams gets a bit more lengthy at this point, especially because, well, you have to do the ridiculous amount of backtracking here and there, especially noticeable, like, depending on what items you can probably get, that basically, though, it might be, usually be the case, as far as I'm aware, so, anyways, though, so let's go ahead and grab some more cookies onto this bush, and, oh, really? That gosh darn cookie was flied out of the forms of the flowers. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue here.
Say there, Piglet. I'm doing my daily bounce.
Oh, hello, Tigger.
Hey, what's this fence doing here? It's keeping us Tiggers from bouncing. And a Tigger that can't bounce, why, he's no Tigger at all.
Maybe there's some way to open it, Tigger.
Huh. I think you may be onto something, Piglet. I do remember I was seeing a little pool tab over there. Maybe if somebody pushed it up, it would open this fence and free up some bouncing room. But I'm suspecting that there's some heffalumps and woozles about.
Maybe if you tried not to make any noise, they wouldn't notice you.
Oh, you mean sneak around like? Sneak is what Tiggers do the best. I'll take care of this fence for you, Piglet. Just stand back and watch.
Oh yeah, at some points throughout the game, you're able to actually take control of one of the 3 playable characters, because as far as I'm aware, we've already played as Piglet for the majority of the game so far, but there are quite a few times you were able to take control of other playable characters here and there. Like, for instance, we're going to be taking control of Tigger right here, so basically that is about the fact that this entire gameplay style is all about stealth, and basically all you have to do is just make your way to point A to point B without even getting caught by heffalumps and woozles, because as you can see, this particular heffalump does have a searchlight, and because of that though, or the actual spotlight rather, and then basically though, if you ever get sighted by a heffalump or woozle, you essentially get caught. And not to mention though, well, thankfully Tigger can bounce, especially noticeable he can able to travel a bit faster, but as a result though, it causes a lot of noise, especially noticeable get heffalumps and woozles attention. But either way, let's pull up this lever. Now open up a gate to another lever that we need to make our way to the very end of this particular point. Now, as far as I can recall, this is by far the hardest section of Tigger's gameplay style, because as far as I'm aware, there is this very wonky hit detection whenever you don't get caught by those woozles over there, but then next you notice is about the fact that luckily there are some areas you can probably just try to make your way safer. Like for instance, there are some little gaps that you can able to actually go through. But here's the trickiest part, is that you need to be so accurate, especially noticeable, you don't want to get caught by a woozles or heffalump, because if you manage to get caught by the forms of heffalump or woozle, basically you get an exclamation mark, meaning you got spotted, and basically though you move significantly slower and you can't bounce at all, and then if you get scared by them, you have to go all the way back to his the beginning portion of his segment. But thankfully though, these segments are pretty short though, so as a result, we can now take control of Piglet again, so that should be good to go, right?
Well, would you look at that?
Oh, thank you very much, Tigger.
don't mention it. Helping piglets is what Tiggers do the best.
Oh.
Alright, so we can now able to continue as Piglet, especially noticeable we can now able to explore this area. So as a result, not only do we able to scare off this particular Heffalump until eventually at this point, well, unless you don't have to, well, unless if you, like, trying to be able to actually get rid of those Heffalumps or Woolsels until everything else is clear. So, in addition to those, it's about the fact that we can also just obtain some more cookies thanks to, like, you know, that particular kick. So, anyway, so another thing I should probably explain about this point today is about the fact that not only, well, I've already mentioned about the fact that you know how the Nintendo 3DS has officially become, you know, 12 years old recently, specifically in Japan, since Journey Forms have been 2011 on the 26th of February. So either way though, time flies, you know. And we picked up this piece of cardboard, which eventually, much like the glue, we can't use that at the moment until we proceed for this particular dream. So, anywho, so in addition to that, that's basically happy 6th year anniversary of the release of the Nintendo Switch. Because relatively speaking, the Nintendo Switch is doing super well as far as you probably already noticed ever since whenever I somehow discussed that during the Forms have been a Donkey Kong 64 Let's Play, I'm pretty sure. But hopefully the next update for that will be specifically until May. So either way though, until around that time, until in May, then hopefully we'll discuss more details about the Forms of that particular sales update for not only the actual Nintendo Switch consoles, but also with the actual games library too. So either way though, because chances are though, yeah, it's still doing very well when it comes to the Nintendo Switch itself. So, but either way though, that might be saying something, alright? Speaking of such though, is about the fact that we actually got ourselves some tons of new Pokemon stuff has just happened, thanks to the Forms of the Pokemon Presents presentation, ever since by the end of February. Speaking of February in general, I'm very surprised that we didn't actually get a chance to see some more N64 games popped up during the Forms of it last month in February. My guess is about the fact that they obviously recently added in some more games, thanks to the Forms of the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance stuff onto the Nintendo Switch online services at this point. So, maybe we'll get another one of those N64 games during it sometime in this month, but I think my prediction is, though, is about the fact that maybe potentially Mario Party 3 will be up next. So, because obviously we've actually got, you know, Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2 onto the Nintendo Switch. So, hopefully we'll get the third installment on the horizon. So, we don't know exactly when, though, because as far as I'm aware, I did somehow predict it that Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 will be on the Forms of it last month, but apparently, though, it didn't. So, but I'll get to my main gripe I have with the Forms of the Pokemon Presents presentation. Enjoy at some point on Monday, perhaps, because as I said before, we'll go ahead and just try to divide those particular parts as in, like, I don't know about you, because it's been about, you know, 2 days ago since I actually last played this, but either way though, because chances are though, it might take a bit of some time to process. So, anyway, so now we've actually scared off those Woozles, and sure enough, we meet up with Roo. And suffice to say, I think he's basically trapped inside in his own playroom, I'm pretty sure, because something tells me about the fact that there was that particular door that has been shut. So either way though, I just need to be sure oh, there's some more cookies right here. But if I can't find any of those cookies, then I'll also be back for that eventually, but
Oh, Roo, are you in there?
Piglet, is that you?
Yes, I came to get you. Kanga is very anxious to see you.
But Piglet, I can't go home. I'm locked in. The door's shut behind me and I don't have a key.
Oh dear, how can we open it?
I think the key's back in my house. Would you go ask my mama for it, Piglet?
Oh, certainly, Roo. I'll be right back.
So yeah, believe it or not, we need to backtrack all the way back to the forms of Kangaroo's house, because obviously we do need to meet up with Kangaroo again, because we do need to acquire a key in order able to open up Rue's playroom until we're able to progress. So, anyways, let's talk about the forms of a new thing we want to discuss, and that is something related to the Pokemon stuff they've recently announced. Thanks to the forms of the Pokemon Presents just recently, ever since by the end of February. Although, before I get into more details onto this though, basically recently today, for those of you who lived in the UK, well, suffice to say, I've actually got myself my brand new Nintendo Switch game. Despite I was originally trying to get the game digitally, but then I found out it might take a lot of gigabytes. So, either way though, recently today, that Metroid Prime Remastered has officially been released today for the Nintendo Switch physically in the UK. So, I thought I was worth bringing this up. So it looks like we stumbled across another brave face. Now we've actually learned that. So now we can able to actually take on those Heffalumps and Woolsels very easily. Especially now we've actually got, I won't classify for saying the 4th button right now. So yeah, in order able to actually pull off certain like button combinations is that you only have to press triangle, square, or circle, whilst compared to the forms of the X button, which allows you to able to escape from battle combat. So, which that will be also applies for the A button on the GameCube version, and then use button inputs is by pressing B, Y, or X. So, yeah, that basically summed up as such. So, anyway, so, yeah, let's talk about the forms of the Pokemon stuff they did recently announced, and that is the fact that we've already know there is actually the forms of Pokemon Trading Card Game Classic Edition, which, I'm not exactly sure how do I explain this though, because I know for a fact it's been a very long time since I actually last known about the forms of the Pokemon Trading Card Game stuff. So, and the next thing they did announce is a new Netflix series is going to be on its way too, which is almost entirely based around stop-motion animation, which I think is actually kind of cool. And on top of that, there's also the forms of Pokemon Go++, so I'm not exactly sure how do I explain about this kind of stuff though. And the next thing they did announce when it comes to Pokemon-related stuff, and that's what appears to be, well, about time, they finally managed able to reveal something more information. You are kidding me! I did not see that coming, especially noticeable that I've completely forgot these Heffalumps do respawn. So yeah, that's what happens if you get scared by the Heffalump or Woolsel. Basically, that Piglet's speed has been a little bit more, well, reduced. So, well, only for a brief moment's worth noting for. And on top of that, as you can tell, the screen from the actual corners of the screen decides to able to go a little bit darker. But if you get scared for the second time, basically Piglet just goes in overly in panic mode, which not only because the actual corners are now going to get significantly darker, but also he runs a lot faster than he forms of how it does it on other two emotions. So either way though, and also not to mention though, as I said this briefly as far as I'm aware, the loading screens do differ depending on what, you know, emotions you have. So either way though, because chances are that at the moment right now, we can only see the, a little bit afraid, color scheme, which as you can tell, it's now in dark blue, and you see that particular animation where Piglet is actually praying that, well, I don't know about you, because it's been, you know, a very long time since I actually known about this kind of stuff. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and talk to Kanga.
Have you finally found Rue, Piglet?
Yes, Kanga, I have. He's in his playroom, but he's locked himself in and can't get out. Do you have the key?
Oh, dear. Now, I'm sure I've seen that key someplace around the house. Oh, goodness, will you look at this mess? Rue has left his cookies just everywhere. Piglet, be a dear and gather them up while I look for the key.
Oh, I'd be happy to. I like being helpful.
So, before we obtain the key, we do need to collect every single cookies in Kanga's house, because apparently as far as what she did told to Piglet, that everything else is just around a mess. So as a result though, we do need to finally able to actually kick certain objects until we're able to pop out certain cookies before we you know, progress and also get the key. And on top of all that stuff, though, well, that's as far as I can talk about. And then I was originally trying to mention something more related to the Mario Kart Tour's next tour coming up, but I think I should probably point things out and join at some point, possibly by the forms of it next Wednesday if possible. So either way though, let's just go ahead and find this last object to kick until we're able to get... Oh, actually, there's going to be more objects kind of thing about it that I haven't exactly double-checked on it. Like this particular green chest of drawer right here. So, yeah, it's nothing complicated when it comes to, like, solving this particular issue, apart from the fact that sometimes... the annoying thing about this is obviously that sometimes if you, like, let these cookies stay out for too long, then basically they'll just go back inside what they're originally placed. So, either way, though, that might be inconsistent at times. But, either way, there's the final 5 cookies we can probably collect in here. And, oh wait, there's actually more. I think there's in this mini table, so, yeah, I think that basically does it. So, either way, and, well, we finally accomplished it. But before we get ourselves a key, let me show you something of what happens if you do interact with the Christopher Robin's balloon.
Everything will be alright, Piglet. To overcome your fears, you must believe in yourself.
Oh, thank you, Christopher Robin. I feel better already.
So now our health is being regenerated thanks to Christopher Robin, so things should be normal by then. So anyways, let's go get ourselves a key.
What a wonderful job you've done, Piglet. You cleaned up every last cookie. And I've found the key. So here you are. Hurry now. I'm sure Roo will be very happy to see you, the little dear.
Thank you, King.
Alright, so now we've got the key, and now we can able to progress. So, and by the way, with that Christopher Robin balloon, I think I'll use that only once in this playthrough, because as far as I'm aware, I'll try my best not to be too afraid so many times. So, anyway, so I think suffice to say we'll end things off at this point right here, I'm afraid, guys. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Piglet's Big Game. Instead, we're about to continue things on in Roo's Dream. So, yeah, I'll see you guys then. Later, fellas.